proud of your race, then you can't be anything at all. Blacks and Jews, they turn around, they'll stab you right in the back. You should be able to go out and clean out the infestation.
You ain't scaring me, because I ain't buying your crap for 1 minute.
It's gonna happen, and there's nothing you can do about it.
What you're spewing is hatred, don't you understand?
And you're the only hate mongers that's around here. Shame, you're not white.
And you, and you.
I would like you to meet 19-year-old Wendy, 21-year-old Molly, and 22-year-old Tracy. Now, they have never met before today's show, but they do share one powerful belief, that as women of the 90s, their role is to stay home and have as many babies as possible with the intention of furthering the white race. Tracy, let's start with you. When you say have as many babies as possible, how many babies is that?
As many as I can until I can't take it anymore. There's just not enough pure white anything left in the world.
So you want to have like a baby every 9 months?
Every 9 months if I can do it.
Can I ask you if you have any babies now?
Not yet.
Okay. I always hear this.
I don't want to raise my children on welfare like many of you people would like to think that everybody does. No, not you people. Like you people think everybody does. I want a job. I want to raise my children right. I don't want to raise my children up on welfare. That's not what it's all about.
Tracy, there are some women that might argue with your way of thinking and say you're kind of turning back the clock. Why is it important for you?
It's just because everything... We don't have anything left. Anything what it is. There's like nothing. Well, there's no pride. There's nothing left. Everything is everybody else.
Has been taken away from you.
That's it. We've been robbed.
Molly, you don't have any children yet, but you already have some strong feelings on how you want your children educated. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about it?
Me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that when I do have children, that they should be taught in the home. I'm pursuing a teacher's education thing to teach them in the home.
Okay.
And
why do you want to teach them in the home?
I really don't want them going to public schools, so they'll have to mix with blacks and everything else and be brainwashed by everybody there and stuff. I'd rather just teach them how to be proud of their race,
Wendy,
to be proud they're white.
You're 19 years old, right?
Yes.
Newly married, and you've heard what Tracy and Molly have said. Do you agree with them?
I agree with them, definitely. I believe children are more important than a career or money. Because what is left after you die is your money. You have immortality with children on this earth.
Who is the enemy? Who are you against?
The Jews are behind everything.
Jews are behind everything. Okay. What are the Jews behind?
The media, the government.
Media, the Jews.
Telling people what they should be, what they should do.
Right.
How we should be politically correct.
What about the Orientals?
I don't think they belong here either.
They don't belong here?
No.
Why would the Orientals not belong here?
They're taking jobs away from the white people.
The Orientals are taking jobs away. Molly, you're teaching women within your movement about how to prepare for a race war. Tell us exactly what you do.
I think mentally, physically, and we should be strong. Preparing mentally means educating other people, not going out and killing people, not committing violent acts, but educating the other white people.
So how do you do this? Do you do it once a week? Do you teach a class? What do you do?
Well, we have literature distributions, and we also like teach other white people who are interested about their history and to be proud of their race. And physically, we prepare by working out and things. And I myself know how to can food, and we store it and things like that in case anything might happen. We're going to have to learn basic survival skills.
So you teach women how basic survival skills?
Yeah, cooking when you basically have nothing.
Do you think there'll be a race war?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You do think there'll be a race war?
I really do.
You're 19, 20, and 21. Where does all this hatred come from?
It's
Who
not
said
about
anything
hate.
about hate?
It's not about hate. It's being proud that we're white.
Pride. It's about white pride.
It's not about hatred, it's about white. Did anything happen to you at a young age?
Well, I didn't become racially aware until I was a teenager when I had to myself go to school with blacks and Jews and Orientals and stuff like that. And I seen how they...
What did the blacks and Jews and the Orientals do to you?
Okay, what they do to me? Well, personally to me, at that time I was very naive. I was 14 years old, but you live and learn. And when you're friends with them or whatever, they turn around, they'll stab you right in the back. And that's when I learned, well, hey, maybe this isn't right, you know?
Did they stab you,
So to speak.
so to speak? In what way did they stab you?
Just turning on me, talking about...
Trust them.
You can't trust them worth anything.
Okay.
I'm-
Tracy, you say black women only have children because it brings them money?
Yeah.
What kind of money?
Welfare money.
Uh-huh.
Taxpayers' money. Everybody's money.
And you've seen black women dressed to the nines while their children are in rags?
Yeah, snotty-nosed little crybaby children, you know, and they're all dressed all nice, and their children are wearing rags. You know, they have children so they can have clothes.
Okay. The blacks should go back to Africa and they are out to make America a jungle? Yeah?
I think we've come pretty close now.
When you say you want to have an open hunting season on Jews, what does that mean?
I think that once a year that you should be able to go out and clean out the infestation, that everything's...
If you were...
This country is a sewer.
It's a sewer. It's
Us
infested.
white people have no room to move around anymore.
If you had, for example, you were very, very ill and you had a Jewish doctor who could save your life, what would you do?
I would not go to them.
I'd die.
Because I would die for my God and what
You
he
die
wanted me to
for-
do.
Oh yeah, you're real loving people, you know, clapping because someone wants to die just because they don't have a Jewish doctor. You're not loving people either, and you call us hate mongers, and you're the only hate mongers that's around here.
Y'all are sitting out there giving it to us because what we think, and y'all are sitting out there judging us just the same.
It's not about hate, it's
just
being
the
proud of
same.
who we are. I'm a white person, I'm very proud. I'm Russian, German, and Anglo-Saxon. I'm very proud of it.
I'm white, and I'm Jewish, and I'm very proud
You
of
are
it.
not white.
And shame
You're not
on
white,
you,
then.
and you, and you. And
No,
how are you
I'm
going to
congratulating
support your
myself.
20 children.
I'm proud
what
of
kind
myself.
of education do you have? How are you going to support them? I want to know. Are you educated?
Yes, I am.
What do you do?
Hey,
I'm a
nurse.
nanny.
How much money do you make a year? Shame on all of you.
The children that I raised are raised up white, and they have pride. They have
Alright, I'm a
pride,
nurse.
and they're not little children, you know. They have everything that they need, and they're well taken care of. They have a sense of pride. And that's what it's all about, because nobody out here has any pride left in their race. If you can't be proud of your race, then you can't be anything at all.
And it's okay for black people to walk around with Malcolm X, but what about a white person that walks around with, I'm proud I'm white? Oh, you're automatically racist.
Say,
and
I'm white,
hate-monger.
I'm Jewish. I'm very proud of that. And let me tell you something about Hitler. Hitler would have taken care of you because he took care of all the degenerates. So you would not be around right now.
Basically, I have the same ideology as him, then I don't think so, okay? You would be the one to go, not me.
You don't know nothing. You're 19. You don't know anything
I'm not
about life.
19.
Well,
I'm
however,
21 years
who taught
old.
you?
It's
Who taught
an
you?
age
I'm a mother. I have a daughter that I take very well care of.
Oh, okay, all
No,
right.
I went to school, that's right, and I went with blacks, and I went with other people.
Yeah, and who
that
taught
has
you
nothing to
how
do with
Who
it.
runs the schools? The government, which is run by Jews. Who taught you?
No, what are you talking
watch
about? Where
you
did
watch
you
the
get your
TV
from?
You're young. Read
You
the
and
big
we're
book.
young to be politically correct.
Let us...
You know what politically correct means?
Wait.
Accepting all races and marrying other races?
What
Nuh-uh.
do the
That's
men
not the way
in
to
your
go.
life think? What do the men in your life?
My husband's proud of the way I feel.
Okay.
Thinks that, you know, it's fine. It's just, you know, it's white.
Okay. The men in your life?
Well, I don't have a man in my life, but
About what?
that's because I don't want one right now, all right?
Okay. Okay. So no man in your life.
No, but the one who I choose is going to have the same beliefs as myself, or I won't want him at all. I won't even give him the time of day.
Because nobody has any pride in themselves. You can't find somebody.
I'm very proud of myself, and I'm not giving up my beliefs for no one.
Yes, there's a man in your
Yes.
life. He feels the same way.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I'd like to bring out the men in your life to introduce them to our audience. Please come on out. Sitting next to Tracy is her husband. They have been married for 3 years.
White power!
White power.
White power.
As you can see, Ed is a member of the Florida Templar Knights of the KKK. Sitting next to Molly is Jack Grimes. Now, as she said, she doesn't have a man in her life. She refers to him as the dictator. They are not married, but she takes her orders from him. What do you mean you take your orders from him?
If there's something in the organization that needs to be done, I need to do a flyer distribution, or we need to go meet someone, then...
You take your orders
Yeah.
from him. Okay. And finally, Mark Thomas is sitting next to his newlywed bride, Wendy. Now, they've been married less than a year. All of you share your women's racist beliefs. Why?
Well, I introduced Wendy to many of the ideas that she's familiar with, and I would want to state openly that they're ideas of affirmative, positive belief in the values of our race, not the negative words, slogans, and directives and stereotypes predicated on the other races.
Sir?
Me?
Yes?
Why do I feel this way? The niggers and Jews are ruining our country. America is a country meant for whites only. All the non-whites are ruining our country. The white people came here, red mud monkeys, and built this country out of nothing.
That's right.
And the white people are the only people that belong here. Not the niggers, not the red Indians, not the Jews, not anybody. It's our country. We ain't going anywhere.
All the beautiful architecture is from us.
Hello?
Aryan people.
Hello?
Okay?
Hello? You...
Who's free?
I would hope...
You should check yours,
You
all
can't
right?
use that word in front of me, okay? In front of this show. Please do not.
We'll comply with your rules. But what about our freedom of speech?
It'll just be, there's certain things we just do not allow, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but what about our freedom of speech? I mean, if you censor my right to say one word, that's taken away my freedom of speech. I'll comply with your rules because I respect you and I thank you for having
please
us on
use
this
the
show.
word black. It would be much more helpful if you would.
Then can we focus in on the Jews more because I consider the Jews our real enemy.
Well, it's not your decision anyway.
The Jews are more your enemy than the
The
blacks?
Jews are our real enemy because the Jews have intelligence and they have the money power. They control this country. They promote the liberal ideologies that are destroying America. No, they're a parasite race. The Jews have been a parasite since the dawn of history, and the Jews are nothing but a parasite. The Jews do not work. The Jews ride up on the back of the Gentile nation and make the Goyim people of the world their slaves. And that means you black ladies, you white ladies, you're all being made into wage slaves by the Jews. The Jews are an unproductive, useless race. They're scum of the earth. The Jews are a race of parasites and vermin infesting the world.
That ever walked the face of this earth. They're perverted, all right?
It's my destiny to be the dictator of the American nation. Nobody can stop me from anything. I am the instrument of God leading the white Americans into the new age
I will
of
ask
peace,
him-
money, and prosperity.
I'll ask him why it's his destiny to be the dictator. And coming up next, you'll meet a man who says people like this are responsible for his son's murder. Stay with us. Dictator.
Me, but it doesn't matter to me. We're all people. I don't choose my friends according to their color. I have a lot of friends that are different colors. We're all the same.
Welcome back. Today we're talking to young women who proudly call themselves racists, and the men in their lives. Jack, just as we went to a break, you said that you call yourself the dictator, and you say that Nostradamus predicted that a man by the name of Grime would be America's dictator. Now, I've checked New York's telephone directory, and there are over 100 Grimes. How, and that's just one city, how are you sure he meant you?
I'm sure.
You're sure? Okay. You say that your job is to start an ethnic cleansing of the country. Is that correct? That this, you will be...
To return America to the white people who founded it and created it and built it out of nothing.
Okay. You think this will happen in what year?
If Nostradamus' prophecies are correct, as I believe they are, it will happen sometime between 1999 and the year 2004. I will become the dictator of the American nation.
All you guys can sit back and laugh, but there's nothing you can do to change a major event. Nothing. You have no control over it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. So sit back and laugh your heads off and have fun.
Everything Nostradamus has predicted would happen, will happen. In sometime between 1999 and 2004, I will walk into the White House and become the dictator of America.
Laugh if you want to. Go ahead
I
and have
just
fun.
feel so sorry for the people, except the fellow on the end. As it says in my little black book, you guys, in America, not one white has ever been executed for killing a black male. Now, let me say this right away. We've got to have a groundwork here. In other words, the first people on earth were black, and you guys come from us. So you are going to have to admit that you've been miseducated in America, and that you don't know that the word race does not have an S on it. And you all are going to have to really get a life. And I feel so sorry for you.
That's crazy.
Racial blindness. Racial blindness.
May I say something? May I say something? I would be inclined to agree with the lady that the blacks were the first people, the Asians were the second, and the white were the third. God screwed up with the blacks, he screwed up with the Asians, and he only got it right with the white people.
Jack, you were born a Catholic. Are you practicing now?
No, ma'am, I'm not. No. I am a free thinker and a... Thinker.
Today, on the behalf of my son, that was murdered May the 25th, 1993, by 2 white police officers. He was sick in downtown Beekman Hospital. He was having a seizure. They handcuffed him, put him on the floor on his stomach, and they beat and kicked and stomped him to death. Then they had nerve to call me to tell me he went in cardiac arrest. And that wasn't anything but racism. And I want justice.
What?
Racist? Okay, all right. Police and the government don't choose. You're playing the wrong people here.
What about the system of government that rules over this world, and especially over this United States today, will never give justice to people of any race because it creates the kind of antagonism, the bigotry and the hatred that was used against your son. By pushing...
But wait,
no, I do not continue.
I want you, I think this is very important.
I stand with the teachings of Minister Farrakhan and other separatists who would restore the dignity to all the races, absent the Zionist influence.
Let me say something. I think at this point you should meet Robert. Robert's son also was brutally murdered 2 years ago by skinheads who were proud of what they called a mud murder. Robert, you're going to tell us what a mud murder is and then tell us what happened to your son.
Okay, the white supremacists, the neo-Nazis, say an honorable mud murder is the killing of a non-white person.
Your son is non-white?
My son was Asian American. He was half Thai, half white.
Okay, and what happened?
On August 10th, 1992, my son's body was found underneath the Olympia train tunnel, downtown Olympia, Washington, 2 blocks from the Capitol. He had been stabbed 27 times. He had been beaten repeatedly, and they took a parking meter. and they crushed his head. Beyond recognition, we could not have an open casket funeral. It had to be closed casket. They could not embalm him. He had so many holes in his body.
How do you know who it is that did this? In other words, what happened?
The two perpetrators that murdered my son, after they murdered my son, they left. They came back to make sure he was dead. They took his blood and put their handprints on the wall. Then they left, and on the way of leaving, they stopped in Grand Mound, got into a confrontation, then took an AK-47 and killed a white man that was sleeping in the back of a Bronco. Then they were apprehended. Now, they also said that killing this white man was also an honorable mud murder.
Why?
To lie to other inmates. They did not want other white people, white Aryan youth, to know that they murdered a white man.
Were they members? Were they members of a white supremacist group?
Yes, they were. The one gentleman's name was Gustafson. He was a leader of the white Aryan youth out of Bainbridge Island. He was fleeing a possible persecution for beating a black man in Seattle. And his only crime was the fact that another black man was seen kissing a white girl in a bus station. And they took it out on this man.
So race mixing.
What do you do?
Race mixing. I have listened to you people talk, and I'm sorry, you're a broodmare. You're not even thinking of yourself as a human being. You're allowing yourself to be ridiculed and taken beyond and below the stature of a human.
You need to open your eyes.
I am awake.
No, you're not. Racial blindness. It's called racial blindness.
Those people that killed your son, we're not.
Tell me what, when the race war comes, when the race war comes, what are you going to do? Darky's not going to take you on his side.
No, you'll be by
Did he
yourself.
deserve to be murdered?
May I say something?
And you wait till you see what the Jews do to the blacks. I don't care what beliefs that criminal had. You think slavery was bad? He used to justify that. When our forefather was here.
I've heard you talk about America. Hey, the Native Americans or Indians, they were here first. What has the white man done to them? All right? Now, we are all human beings. We are all human beings. If you cut yourself, you bleed red just as well as I do, this lady over here, this gentleman here.
Just like what the Jews did to the Palestinians. Right.
Let me say something. It is time for Americans to quit passing the buck, pointing the finger, and realize that we are accountable for our own actions, and we need to accept each other for our differences.
That killed your son or whatever, don't speak for all of us, all right?
Let me say
what
something.
good am I to anyone if I'm in a prison cell, huh? I'd rather be out here doing positive things for this country.
Let me say something, please. The Aryan Racial Loyalist Party does not condone violence. We want to build up a legitimate white civil rights organization to represent the white people's civil rights. I don't know why your son is dead,
and
sir.
Since these two gentlemen murdered my son,
I had nothing to do with that.
Because he was
my group.
Asian American mix.
That's not us, okay?
That's not us. We do not believe in violence.
Then what are you teaching?
We want to bring teaching. We teach white pride, white unity.
What history are they talking about when they're talking about the Aryans?
Question. He would be treated with accord and dignity. You make fun of us. We speak of white pride, white power. And Mr. Farrakhan is treated with dignity. You shut up, boy. You shut up.
Man, you're the one that's the boy.
Can I ask a question? I've heard it said on 2 occasions that the Aryans made this country. And I want to know where you get your history from. I mean, all the minorities in this country made this country. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That's why it's like it is today.
A sewer. It's nothing but
That's
a
why
sewer.
it's like it
That's
is
all
today.
it is.
It's a sewer. Look what you've made
You
it.
are victims of
No, we didn't make it.
This country is made up, what makes it unique is that it's made up of all sorts of different kind of people, race, religion, and, I mean, you make me sick. I cannot believe. And you never answered the question, how are you going to support your children, all these children?
All these races have turned America into a sewer.
Okay, first of all, you, mister, got an attitude problem as well as an identity crisis. And this clown right here, who thinks that Halloween's every day of the year,
and you mean about this road?
Yeah, I'm talking about that road.
In 1865, in the Reconstruction,
We made these robes to scare off you darks.
Well, you ain't scaring me, because I ain't buying your crap for 1 minute. And all you ladies
you're still scared of
sick. See, you are sick to want to bring babies in this world to further the white race?
You do it.
What the hell happened to bringing babies in this world to love and nurture them?
You do it. All of you. You do it. All of you.
Make me sick to my stomach.
You do it so you can get welfare.
I think racism in children and in adults too comes from people's own self-hate.
Probably one of the scariest things to see is when you see little children on the playground and they're racist. You know that's got to come from a parent or a guardian or something they learned at home, because they're repeating things that they don't even understand.
That's an awful lot, and people on home base were saying they don't hate. Please meet Tamara Trotter. We've asked Tamara to come be here today. She is the author of a very interesting book called 602 Ways to Build and Promote Racial Harmony. I said that you could easily become a racist yourself. Why?
Sally, unfortunately, I graduated from the University of California in Irvine with a degree in psychology. And being excited about going to school, I applied for my first job, and unfortunately lost my job because I later found out that my employer did not like black people. And so I was really disappointed about that. But unlike the panel up here, I know what my destination is, I know what I'm called to do, and I'm not going to allow anyone to steal my dream away. And through Talking Justice, the theme of the book is reach out to everyone, deny no one, for we are all members of the human race. And that's the bottom line.
I would like you to talk to Mark, if that's all right with you, and sitting next to Mark, maybe that couple, Mark and Wendy, they have only been married, what, a year?
Yes.
A little less than a year. He has 5 children from a previous marriage, and he's going to have more children with Wendy. What do you say to him? He believes that the Bible says that the Jews are of Satan and should be exterminated, so he would like to exterminate the Jews. What do you say to somebody like that?
Sally, I don't believe in anyone that teaches hate and preaches hate. And I think that he needs to find himself. I believe that he must not be sure about who he is and what he is. And I was listening in the green room, and he said that he's not preaching a message of hate. Yet the reason Robert's son isn't here today is because of the ignorance and the hatred that all of you represent.
I do not know anybody, nor have I ever been involved with anybody that has dealt in that kind of criminal behavior. First of all, if you have an understanding of psychology, you will agree that the first thing we must all come to is a positive understanding of our own identity. And that it goes beyond,
And in doing that, we need to appreciate all cultures and all people on the face of this earth. Everyone has the right to be here.
The white race alone are the people that are today made to feel guilty for all of their accomplishments.
I totally disagree.
And you are, and by doing that, you are promoting sociopathic behavior among white people. The white people are being told to feel guilty about Christopher Columbus, about how they established this country, to feel guilty about slavery when it was international Jewry through the banks of England that brought the slaves to this country and exploited them.
My question, though, is you have made a statement to our producer, and if you do not wish to stand by it, that's fine, but you have said, Jack, we should exterminate the Jews. Now, that's a violent statement to say.
I'm Mark, I'm not Jack, but
Mark,
I didn't say we should exterminate the Jews. I said that I believe that the Bible teaches that the people that make up the household of world Jewry today, within them are found what is called the synagogue of Satan, what Jesus Christ many times referred to as the children of the devil. So they put him to death for their allegations. Luke 19:27 prophesied that one day we would destroy them. This is a doctrine peculiar to all mythology of all people, a battle between good and evil. We believe, as our God taught Jesus Christ, we are the children of the good. They, as he identified them, are as the children of the devil. That's
How
all.
do you know that? Who made you God?
Nobody made me God.
The Bible teaches to love thy neighbor as
love thy
thyself.
neighbor.
The Bible
Judge
says...
not, lest you yourselves be judged. Come on, don't take that context.
Which Bible are you reading? Which Bible do you read?
The
Which
King
Bible are
James
you reading?
Bible or any Bible you want. You cannot take
The
one
Bible
verse
says,
out of
do
the
unto
Bible.
others as you would have them do unto
No,
you.
it doesn't. Nowhere is that in the Bible.
Oh,
That's
yes,
what
it
you
does.
Have you
call
heard the
golden
Ten
rule.
Commandments?
No,
the
it's
Ten
not
Commandments?
part of the Ten Commandments.
Ring a bell anywhere?
I know the Ten Commandments in Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, and English.
Who wrote your Bible?
And it doesn't say any such thing. The
Who
Holy
wrote your
Spirit
Bible?
inspired the men to write the Bible as it is written. We're talking about the same
man?
Bible.
Which man?
You cannot take one verse out of context any more than I can.
Tamara,
the entire Bible from one end to the other.
Why do the women turn to these men for guidance?
That's a very good point, Sally. As I look, they all seem mesmerized, as if they were trained as to what to say when they come out here. And I charge them to
see the
talk
audience
justice
as trained.
and to find themselves and to not let any man lead you in the wrong direction. Because you know what you're doing?
I only follow a man
you
that
have
follows
God. No,
first.
listen, I'm speaking, I'm talking, you're listening, okay? What I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you is this. You have limited resources. I have unlimited resources because I can pick from the Asian culture, the Latino culture, the African-American culture, and I can bring it all in together, and we can live in peace and harmony. You're separating the races, which is wrong. It's evil. It is evil, and good always prevails over evil. That's what it means. That is for a while, but it won't be for long. Absolutely not.
You speak about culture. Since Wendy and I came to know one another, I have taught her the Bhagavad Gita. I have taught her the different things of the many different cultures of the world.
Why do you need to teach her? She can't learn herself?
She has taught me.
Why do you need to teach her?
Wendy is a student of art. She has taught me about Matisse and Picasso, God rot his soul. Van Gogh, different things. We teach each other.
Mark?
Yes. First of all, to the gentleman over here, there's two cases that have taken place in the last 6 months in this country that mirror what happened to your Asian stepson or whatever he was to whites.
He was his son.
One in Florida and
Not
one in
stepson,
Philadelphia.
true son.
A kid named Riley was
True
chopped
son.
up, where they actually cut his hands off and left it in a park because he was white by 12 Vietnamese. One is only got sentenced to 8 years. And I'm disgraced at some of the whites in this audience. I really am. If Louis Farrakhan was up there, you would treat him a lot different. He could pack 30,000 people in a stadium, preach hatred, and call people white devils, but you won't go ooh and ah. And as far as statistics goes, okay, FBI, state police, whites are 8 times more likely to be, and Pat Buchanan said this and was almost run out of Washington, D.C., are 8 times more likely. Mario Cuomo did the same study and found the same conclusion in New York State. Look, in 1990, whites were the victims of racially motivated crimes 58% of the time in New York State over the last 3 years. That is a government study, and if anything, they lowered the statistic. Whites are much more in the majority of racially motivated attacks. And some of you white people, I talk to you behind closed doors, a lot of you, and you talk the same thing that I feel. You say the blacks are taking over. You say the Jews control the banks, but you come out here and you disgrace these people, and you call them names and ooh and ah. You are the hypocrites. I'll get out and I'll speak what I feel. And I won't be afraid. I'll say it to Louis Farrakhan. You bring him on the show. But you are hypocrites. Hypocrites.
Let me take a quick break. Coming up next is a woman who says she was in the same shoes as Wendy and Molly and Tracy until an appearance on our show. Her story next. Female racists and the men in their lives. Robert Buchanan, whose son was murdered by skinheads, says that every racist is in a way responsible for his son's death. Now, you work with a very interesting division. What's it called?
Well, I work for the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, and I'm the Bias Crime and Community Relations Coordinator. But I'm also the president of the New Jersey State Bias Crime Officers Association.
Now, you said that well, tell me what it is you want to tell me. There are ways of getting people angry.
Yes, obviously, what I'm observing here as I watch this go on, and I wanted to share this with the audience here and the audience at home, is that this is exactly the tactics that are used by Klansmen and white Aryans. Basically what it is they manipulate people. They attempt to incite you. They attempt to get under your skin.
It's the government.
Thank you. To attempt to...
The government, they want us to have a race war. That way the Federal Emergency Management Agency will step in and we'll be under martial law. It's a government.
And as you can see, that is a perfect example. So I just give you that time. What normally happens in situations like this, they've had approximately 243 demonstrations over the last 92 and 93 across the nation. And basically the problem is not with them, but with the counter-demonstrators. What they'll do is they'll incite people. The police come in and then they start pointing their finger at the counter-demonstrators. And this is just so that you can get their sympathy. They're obviously on a recruitment plan right now because they've been hit very hard recently. And what they're recruiting is young adults. Do not think that this is what represents hate crimes and hate groups. It's young adults.
Women were young adult females in 19, 20, and 21, and which is why we wanted to do this show. As you say, there's a great many of young females joining, are there not?
Oh, absolutely. They're recruiting in the schools. They're looking for youth with low self-esteems. And basically what they are is just a big gang. And if you look at any gang structure, whether it be a...
We're looking for anyone who's interested, okay? Any white person who's interested.
Let me, Robert, yes?
May I say something, please?
Yes.
May I say something? If you look in the Webster Dictionary for the word skinhead, it's a member of a lawless gang.
It says member of lawless gang. I want to tell you something about this show. This reminds me very much of a show that we did, thank you, Nelson, 3 years ago. And we were talking to Klan moms and their daughters at that time. Now, the reason was the same as trying to talk to young women. Maybe if we can convince young women or we can convince moms. Well, that show produced an amazing transformation. Before we get to that, I want you to take a look at a clip from that show.
But it's a proven fact that if you give a white man, a black man, and a Spanish man the test, 9 out of 10 times that white man's scores is going to be higher than a nigger's or a Spanish. Nigger does not mean black. It's the way you act. The stage is full of niggers today. The majority of them act like niggers.
Joining us now by telephone is that woman. Her name is Jan Ralston. Jan, what happened after the show?
My whole life changed. I got a good, hard look, long look at myself, and what I saw was something ugly and scary. And I didn't like what I saw. And I thank God that I had a change of heart.
You are going to be with us today, Jan, and I know that something happened in the family, so my good wishes are with you. What would you like to say to these young women today? Because we were doing a mom show, now we're doing a young women show.
First of all, Sally, I feel sorry. God forbid the kids that these women have. The kids are the ones that's going to suffer. I know, because I was an officer. I held 2 offices in the Klan. My husband held 3 offices. I taught young people how to hate. I taught them how to be different, how to be separate. But I want to say 2 things to the people on stage. First of all, one of the women talked about a sewer. The world is a sewer. That's right, on account of people like you that make it a sewer. And you know what you do with human feces? You flush it down the toilet. And that's what needs to happen to people like this. And second of all, I'd like to say
you were a traitor to the movement before you were even in.
And second of all, I'd like to say to the people, to Mr. Grind, you know what the word grind means in the Webster Dictionary? It's filth. Human, it's just pure out filth and grease and dirt, and it needs to be washed away.
That comes back to the prophecy of Nostradamus. Nostradamus said that the future dictator of America would have a surname that means dirt of the earth, so
well,
I'm very proud of that.
This.
Thank you very much, you traitor scum, you.
Let me tell you, Mr. Grimes, before that happens, before you enter our White House, you will be washed away.
You can stop the prophecies of Nostradamus. Go ahead, you traitor.
Change their way of thinking. If it's possible, we're going to find out next. Stay with us.
I'm Chuck Henry. 800-93-SALLY, and tell us about her.
I owe Tamara an apology. I've been calling her Tamara, which is the name of a play. So you are just too polite. Tell me what we can do so that these things don't happen.
Sally, in our book, we say plant the seed of racial harmony. Cultivate your garden. And the way that we do that is every day we do something positive. We go out, we see someone, we don't judge them based on color. We see a person. The small steps, the little measures that we take, the little measures of kindness, respect, appreciating all differences, respecting each other regardless of color, race, or creed. We need to look beyond color, look beyond hate. Racial hatred is ignorance. We need to talk justice. We need to increase the peace. We need to teach love to our children and not hate. We need to teach them to treat everyone the same. We need to buy them dolls from all ethnicity so that they can have everything. Everything that the world offers will be theirs. That's what we need to do.
What do I do? I know that this young lady is your co-author, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Would you please stand? What do I do to reach the young women?
I think what we need to do to reach the young women is to encourage them to look within themselves and reevaluate their lives as it stands now. It is so unfortunate that we have the people here speaking today, but as for me, I don't get angry. It just makes me more determined than ever to make a change and to continue to fight against injustice and the racism and the hate that you continue to perpetrate.
May I say something? May I say something?
My daughter, Katie, when she started kindergarten,
I just want to say that I'm not exactly sure what your problem is, like what this stems from. I don't know whether to call it ignorance or hatred, but it's been said before in the show, there's only one race, and that is the human race. By having all the children that you want to have, you'll just be adding to the human race. And
The white race.
the only
human race.
The only thing that I'm really worried about with that is that I'm really concerned about the future of America, because they might inherit the same problem that you have.
The only future America...
Not a problem, really.
The only way America has any future at all is if we can turn it back into a racially pure white society again.
Like you, my brother was slaughtered by the hatred that they spew. He was a good, decent human being. But because he was different, people like you took him and slit his throat, stabbed him, and threw him in the water. He was a wonderful person, a Vietnam veteran. What you're spewing is hatred, don't you understand? Don't you see what you're doing? You're hurting everybody by what you're saying.
We just want
God didn't teach us to hate. God taught us to love.
We're not teaching you. You don't have to listen to us.
May I say something?
I try who I am. Listen to you, but there are people that will.
We don't want
Listen to Robert.
We want white pride. Well, then we try to...
Good afternoon.
Sitting on the
I
stage
would
with
like
you, but I'm
to
not
thank our guest today, especially Tamara Trotter, the author of this book, 602 Ways to Build and Promote Racial Harmony. She started promoting harmony by presenting copies of the book to all the audience members. Thank you again.
Some members of our audience will receive, and a promotional fee has been provided by